at this particular time in my career, I've reached the pinnacle of my career. I just feel that I don't have anything else for myself to prove.
Everybody's going to miss him.
The kids love him. My children love him. I do, my husband. And I think it's a lot.
He packed a lifetime of thrills into 9 NBA seasons, frequently leaving us all, sometimes even his coach, in a state of disbelief. Tonight, it is over. Good evening. I'm Steve Sanders.
And I'm Allison Payne. We have extensive team coverage of Michael Jordan's flight from the NBA. Dan Roan has the announcement that made sports fans cringe around the world. Rich King takes a look at the Bulls minus Mike. What will they be like? And Chicago fans, some stunned, talk about their favorite guy, Michael Jordan.
We begin our coverage with WGN's Dan Roan, who's covered Mike for years. He was at the news conference today. Dan, what can you tell us?
I can tell you it's been a pleasure, and there's no question about that. I was one of hundreds of media members at the Berto Center. Most were working. Some were there, I think, just to see if this would really happen. It did, and it came on Michael's own terms.
Wasn't like everyone has speculated about all the different media pressure and different pressures that I was feeling. I deal with pressure all the time, and I've always said that I would never let you guys run me out the game. So don't think that you've done that. This is my choice, and I've always wanted to make it my choice, and it's a choice that I chose to live with.
As he did after almost every NBA game he played, Michael Jordan sat down and patiently told the media what they'd just seen. Only this time, the whole world was watching.
It is Byron Scott opening against Michael Jordan. Jordan able to blow right by.
Jordan's dogged desire to win had disappeared. He waited until now, the start of training camp, to tell us because he wanted to see if it would come back. It did not.
When I lose the sense of motivation and the sense of to prove something as a basketball player, it's time for me to move away from the game of basketball. It's not because I don't love the game. I love the game of basketball, I always will. I just feel that at this particular time in my career, I've reached the pinnacle of my career. I've achieved a lot in that short amount of time, if you want to call it short. But I just feel that I don't have anything else for myself to prove.
Family also entered into this decision, but the death of his father this summer played a smaller part than expected. He'll spend more time with his wife Juanita and their children and give up his parental status on the Bulls.
When a father sends his kids out to college, that kid has to stand up on his own 2 feet. And I'm not saying I was a father of this group, but I took a lot of the pressures and some of the heat. But I know this team is prepared to step up and take what they want. You know, I don't have any reservations about stepping away from the spotlight. The spotlight's been very, very good to me. Hopefully I've been good to it.
Let there be no question about that. Michael Jordan picking a very unique time in his career to step down at the very, very top of it. But then again, he's one unique athlete, and certainly one that we'll all miss watching play, won't we?
Certainly will. See you back. It was also a watershed day for the rest of the Bulls, suddenly confronted by the post-Michael era. They knew it was coming, but they didn't know how soon it would get here. WGN's Rich King is standing by live at Michael's restaurant with a look at the Bulls' future without his airness.
Well, Steve, right now the future for Michael Jordan is right here at the restaurant. He arrived about a half hour or so ago, away from TV cameras. He's upstairs eating right now, I presume with his family. And, of course, a chauffeur drove him in. So Michael is here right now, so his future right now is eating. Now, as far as the team is concerned, these fans here have been watching the Phillies game and watched the White Sox earlier. I think it's finally sinking in Chicago, and Michael Jordan is now retired. It's been 10 hours or so. And that leaves the question, what will life be like for the Bulls without Michael Jordan? Beyond the inspirational edge the Bulls got from Michael Jordan, there were the raw numbers, and they befit the best basketball player of all time. His scoring made Michael Jordan the marquee player he was. But notice the second 2 figures. Michael always high in assists, and perhaps the number he is most proud of, steals, almost 3 a game, making Michael Jordan a complete offensive and defensive machine. So, who takes up the slack? Well, even the team's remaining superstar knows that's really impossible.
Second period.
I'm a young 28, and I look forward to Chicago Bulls having a lot of success. And I just hope that the fans stay behind us and be supportive, because it's going to be a long, tough season for us.
The Bulls' offense will now be completely revamped, especially when you toss in newcomer Tony Kukoc. So, what direction will the Bulls take?
Who knows? You don't replace, obviously, that's the understatement of the year, you don't replace a Michael Jordan. And overnight, the character of this team changes. But I think what we have to try to do is carry his competitiveness, his desire to win, use what we've learned from him.
We're going to have to find out how these guys play together first before we do anything dumb and quickly. We don't, you know, what you don't want to do is panic and say, oh, God, we've got to do this because Michael's not here. We got to see how other guys react and assume roles and do the things that Michael did and get together as a unit and do what they have to do.
Well, put it simply, there is no way to replace Michael Jordan. And the big thing the Bulls have to do, of course, is maintain the spirit that Jordan embodied. And that means in crunch time, somebody will have to come forward now besides the great Michael Jordan. Back to you in the studio, Allison and Steve.
Thank you very much, Rich. Now for the fanatic Jordan fans. Most were shocked last night when they heard the news, and today the shock turned into sadness. Sad that they won't be able to see the feats of Air Jordan on a regular basis. Nowhere were those feelings as heartfelt as here in Chicago, Jordan's only NBA home and the place where he made Bulls history. Our coverage continues with WGN's Sonia Gant, who talked with some of those fans.
It seems only right that Jordan is pictured larger than life over his restaurant, because in 9 seasons, he's become larger than life for many.
I don't think you'd ever get tired of watching Michael play basketball, and I think that's part of the greatness of his going out when he's going is at the top of his game.
Selfishly, I'm extremely sad. In fact, I'm looking to get rid of my tickets for this year already.
Fans started gathering early to watch the Jordan news conference. They cheered for him when it was over. Score broadcasters Mike North and Dan Jiggets had planned to be at the restaurant today for a pregame White Sox show. But all callers wanted to talk about was Michael.
I think people are, first of all, happy that for Michael and for Michael's family. It seems to be a positive type of situation right now.
I understand from having watched him as a member of the media how people delve into his life and all aspects of his private life and things like that. And I say, you know, more power to him. I think he's doing exactly what he wants to do on his own terms.
It's easy to say that all of us are going to miss watching Michael on the court, but maybe the fans who are going to miss him most are those who try to imitate his moves on the court.
I try every day, you know, but, you know, I know I can't get as good as he is, you know. I can dunk and everything, but I just can't get up the way he had. The man got that flight, you know.
Every game, Mike did something that nobody could believe.
Clerks at Nike Town say they didn't really sell any extra Jordan T-shirts today, but customers did want to come and see the Jordan Pavilion. This man came especially to buy a Jordan poster.
Well, I just thought Michael looked real handsome and had a lot of heart. Had a lot of heart in it.
It will be the only sports poster in his house. Despite their sadness, most fans today say they understand. Michael has to do what's right for Michael. But for so long, they've been used to being a part of Air Jordan's life, and they're going to miss him. Sonia Gant, WGN News.
As a result of MJ's dedication to sportsmanship and tireless commitment to excellence, Chicago can claim distinction as a 3-peat championship town. So like most of Jordan's fans, Chicago Mayor Daley wanted to take a moment to simply say thank you.
First of all, I want to thank Michael Jordan for 9 years of great basketball here, the Chicago Bulls. He did a great athlete, a wonderful fellow. The fans, the people enjoy him, enjoy his family, and this is a personal decision. I wish him well, the best of happiness.
And the mayor says whether or not the city holds a tribute to Michael Jordan would be up to Jordan himself. Tonight, like much of Chicago, the world is paying tribute to Michael Jordan. Jordan is the story tonight, and WGN's Randy Salerno says it's brought out the biggest names in the media. Randy?
That's right, Allison. Although the worldwide media may never pack the Chicago Stadium again like it used to when Michael graced the floor, thanks to electronic media, especially satellite dishes, the entire planet was able to watch Michael play here. And today, thanks to that very same media, the entire world was able to watch him say goodbye. The ink was practically still wet on this morning's newspapers when reporters began rolling into Deerfield. A king couldn't command a bigger audience.
I've always respected the media. I will continue to respect some of you.
Close to 100 cameras from around the world and 3 times as many reporters. They come from everywhere, from the local weeklies to network news.
He's one of the most popular icons in America, or in the world for that matter, and he's an enormous cultural hero of some proportions and a real commercial force in America.
Many of these reporters have covered assignments ranging from Super Bowls to Muhammad Ali fights, but this simple announcement may in fact top them all.
I mean, he is the major athlete of the world right now. I would think that, probably the 2 most recognizable active athletes in the world are Michael Jordan and Arnold Palmer.
Well, I think the comparison of him with Babe Ruth, they didn't have the mega media and Ruth hang on too long, but in Jordan's case, he's probably going out at exactly the right time.
This story plays big not only in the U.S., but with the science of satellite in just about every country you can imagine.
Going to have a huge coverage. When I heard the news yesterday, I contacted the radios, and they knew it already. So I knew, it's on the news, it's going to be on the news, it's going to be everywhere.
Michael did today take time out to say goodbye to the reporters who cover him regularly here in Chicago. He said goodbye, however, he did not say he would miss them. Reporting live outside the now Michael Jordan-less Chicago Stadium, Randy Salerno, WGN News.
Okay, we're going to mail Tom Brokaw a pocket comb. Now, there's a new book about to be released on Michael Jordan's life on and off the court. The author joins us live next. Also ahead, President Clinton's message to Mike. Plus, a look at the ups and downs of Michael's career. It was not always sweet victory.
Michael's name came to mean big bucks for him and advertisers. We'll tell you just how marketable he is and how rich. News conference today, Michael Jordan said he wanted to get off the NBA roller coaster, and there have been tough times for the Bulls superstar in between those moments of glory. In the beginning, the downside for Michael's NBA career came strictly on the basketball court. Michael missed 64 games during his second season with a broken foot, and for his first 6 seasons with the Bulls, Michael was forced to carry the load for some very mediocre teams. It was after the Bulls' first championship in 1991 that Jordan's off-court troubles began. Michael angered teammates by refusing to attend a White House ceremony honoring the Bulls. Some players accused him of placing himself above the team.
It's a double standard. It's been a double standard since I got here. The 4 years that I played here, I just kept quiet and, hush, be a good guy about it. But, we won a championship last year, and, I want to win another one. If Michael want to isolate himself like that, we're not going to win.
Next, the book Jordan Rules by Sam Smith portrayed Michael as a sometimes selfish superstar who bullied and humiliated teammates during practice. Charges Michael denied.
I can only laugh at it because a lot of it's incorrect, but as you can see, other players are going to let people know that it wasn't true. You can go to the players who so-called are involved in the incidents and see their response, and you know that it's not true.
A short time later, Jordan was questioned by authorities about why copies of his checks totaling $165,000 turned up in the briefcase of slain North Carolina bail bondsman Eddie Dow, and how a cashier's check for $57,000 from Jordan ended up in the hands of this man, James Slim Bowler. The money in both cases went to pay off gambling debts, and Jordan was ordered to testify during Bowler's money laundering trial. From then on, Jordan had a difficult time shaking the gambling questions and accusations. Last season, Jordan stopped talking to the media after a newspaper reported that he and his father gambled in Atlantic City on the eve of a playoff game against the New York Knicks. Soon afterward, Richard Esquinas, in a book called Michael and Me, claimed Jordan owed him $1.25 million in bets made on golf. Again, Michael denied the accusation. Shortly after the Bulls won their 3rd straight championship, Michael was dealt the toughest blow of all. In late July, Michael's father, James Jordan, was shot and killed by robbers as he sat in his car along a highway in North Carolina. And Jordan said today the death of his father was not the overriding reason he decided to retire, and he said he would have retired now even if his father was still alive.
Allison, say it ain't so may be the refrain from Michael's fans today and tonight, but sponsors were also hoping it wasn't so. Michaels is one of the most recognized faces in sports history. He's made sponsors like Gatorade, McDonald's, and Nike a lot of money. And he's also made himself a lot of money. It is clear Michael is a money machine.
Over the second rafter, off the floor, nothing but net. Through the window, off the wall, nothing but net.
What you want is what you get. What's it like to be Michael Jordan?
As television's richest pitchman, Michael is a multi-million-dollar industry, raking in millions every year in commercial endorsements. And at least one of his sponsors, Gatorade, says Michael will continue to play a major role in marketing its product.
He still presents a tremendous opportunity for us, and we did our homework before we ever signed him, and knowing that it would be a long-term deal.
But at some point, Michael's enormous marketing magnitude will have to decline. After all, he is a retired sports figure.
There's just no way that he will continue to earn the same fee per contract that he's been earning, because he's not going to be as hot. He's not going to be seen that much.
But in the meantime, Michael has made millions for himself, for his sponsors, and for the Chicago Bulls. The numbers are astonishing. According to Crane's Chicago Business, the franchise value of the Bulls has undergone a 7-fold increase from $16 million in 1984 to $120 million today. The number of sold-out games in 1984 was 14%. In 1993, every game was a sellout, and TV ratings have more than doubled. An amazing franchise turnaround that clearly can be attributed to Michael Jordan.
He soars, he flies. Now he talks. Michael Jordan answers some pretty big questions.
But perhaps the biggest question about Michael Jordan concerns his bankroll. With celebrity endorsement contracts well into the millions going back for years, Michael Jordan's net worth and income has long been a topic of idle speculation. Now it's more important than ever. So just how rich is Michael Jordan?
Off the court, the estimates vary. Anywhere I've heard from $10 to $30 million a year. I think it's fairly safe to say it's over 10. And from what I've heard about, what he's banked and what they have, he's probably got, between his assets, more than $100 million.
How much do you think Michael Jordan makes?
If you're talking about endorsements, I would say around $25 million a year. That could be conservative, but it's certainly been true for the last 5 years.
Allison, according to some figures faxed to us tonight by Forbes magazine, Michael's annual salary in 1992 was $35.9 million. They're planning an article next month on Michael's salary and some other sports figures.
Top-rated athlete, right?
That's right.
Money.
Pretty amazing. Tonight, WGN News has a preview of Rare Air. This is a book that hasn't even hit the store shelves yet. And you guessed it, it's all about our superstar, Michael Jordan.
The author, Mark Vansel, joins us now live to talk about it. And Mark, the thing that's most stunning, this is a beautiful picture book of Jordan and especially his family. Can I get your reaction, sir?
Yeah, the interesting thing is that he allowed us in to actually see his family and to shoot his family. And that had been off limits up until this, actually, which is sort of interesting. I wonder in the back of my mind now, after what happened today, if perhaps he kind of knew what was coming.
With Michael.
Mark, how did you get an opportunity to do this book with Michael?
I started covering Michael for the Sun-Times in his rookie year in '84, and just kind of struck up a relationship with him, a friendship, and kind of came up with this idea about a year ago. And he wasn't ready to do a full-blown autobiography, and I thought this was really an elegant way to kind of stay with his image and produce something, sort of an excellent piece in his image.
Mark, I love the shots of Michael with his family. You got to know them. What impressed you most?
You know what? It really is given what he is, it's a remarkably tight, compassionate group. And it's amazing that they've been able to hold together such a wonderful family unit given the enormous pressures on him. One thing I realized going through this process is, for all the money, I really wouldn't want to be Michael Jordan.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a beautiful book. Lots of very nice photographs. Thank you for joining us.
Gorgeous
Thank you.
pictures. Thank you, Mark. Well, it's your turn to talk about Mike's flight from basketball next. Plus, a look at the giving side of this superstar as WGN News at 9 continues. Michael Jordan is a giver both on and off the court. Through his Michael Jordan Foundation, he gives away thousands of dollars to charity. It seems Michael wants to help kids any way he can. At the Boys and Girls Club in Little Village, they're throwing a party. It's one way to keep the kids from feeling down about the fact that Mike's leaving.
I didn't want to wait till tomorrow or Friday because if I was going to prolong it, I know it was going to get to them, it's going to get sad. So eventually, like you said, I did throw a little party for them, and now tomorrow they're going to feel a lot better about things.
Michael Jordan has never met these kids, but he has touched their lives. His Michael Jordan Foundation donates gifts to Boys and Girls Clubs all over the city.
He's been very active with the Michael Jordan Foundation, and for the Boys and Girls Clubs has participated with Nike and other organizations to make sure we've been given some items that the children can use.
The superstar is also known for playing impromptu pickup games. This home video captures excited fans as Jordan drops in for some b-ball action at his kids' camp last summer. And he knew how much he was needed in the inner city. That's why Jordan teamed up with Bozo to support the Off the Street Club, a West Side group that offers kids a safe haven from the street. But Michael's commitment to the community goes even deeper. He tackles tough issues as well. When his good friend Magic Johnson announced he was HIV positive, Michael was there with support and this PSA about the AIDS virus.
Recently, we've all learned something very important from someone very special. That anyone can get the AIDS virus. Doesn't matter who you are or what you do.
And Jordan did that PSA with WGN. One more positive thing about Jordan's retirement is perhaps he'll have more time to devote to his charities now and to his fans.
Allison, memories of Michael are rushing over Chicagoans tonight like a Jordan layup. So now it's your turn to tell us what you remember best about number 23.
I would probably say the tongue is what I probably would remember the most, and the leaping from the foul line to the basket is probably what I remember the most.
The slam dunk and that tongue and his energy level is extremely high, and his devotion as a team player.
When he's most down, like in the last championship, when he sealed it for the third championship clincher, I mean, it looked like he wasn't gonna make it. Then he pulled it back up.
Probably the Cleveland game, you know, when it was down to like 2 or 3 seconds, and he hit that three-pointer and won the game. That was absolutely the best.
I think when he won the first championship and he cried because he was so happy. He was really devoted to all of his fans.
Same one I have.
Is that right? Your memory?
Yep.
Well, and tonight's your turn. Many of the fans we spoke with say everything Michael Jordan did was memorable.
This is true.
2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago.
Backyard and paved city lot where kids play one-on-one and dream of being Mike. Mr. Clinton also said he is saddened by Jordan's decision, but understands why the superstar wants to devote more time to private concerns.
And those who watch the politicians are also taking time to reflect on Michael Jordan tonight. WGN News analyst Clarence Page looks at Michael the player and the person.
For those of us who are well past 30, it's always a little daunting to hear about an athlete who decides to retire at that tender age. It's even more daunting to hear the young athlete is Michael Jordan. You don't have to love the Bulls to love Michael. You don't have to love basketball. You don't even have to love sports. Michael was larger than basketball, larger than sports, larger than life itself. You can hardly visit a young kid's room in the city or the suburbs of America without running nose to nose into a Michael Jordan poster. You can hardly find an adult who hasn't got his picture on a T-shirt. Charles Barkley says he's not a role model, mainly because it's so hard to be a role model after Michael practically put his signature on the title. If you can't join him, try to beat him. Barkley tried, and he failed. Yet Michael showed us, after having been so gracious through years of defeats, that he could be just as gracious through 3 years of victory. The sweet three-peat, through wars, riots, and recessions. America needed Michael Jordan to put a happy face on life with that mischievous tongue hanging out. We needed Michael to show us we too could jump, we could leap, we could fly, we could win, we can overcome. When tragedy hit his family, when his bright, charming father was murdered, we felt bad for Michael. We wanted to put an arm around his shoulder and make him feel better, like he made us feel better over the years. I hope he feels better now. As one Washingtonian said, when Michael Jordan retires, that opens up 5 other spots on the team. Wrong. The Bulls will go on, but it won't be the same. And I'm Clarence Page for WGN News.
Thought he was going to take a shot at the end. Turn around.
Take a three-pointer.
The latest in the tug of war over.
We knew that was going to come out and get a very good effort, but I felt that our defense came to play.